Hello and welcome to Just What Can a GP Do? This is the series where we will talk to GPs about their varied career paths, their career journey, and any words of wisdom that they have for people like yourself, an aspiring medic or medical student or junior doctor or even colleague, fellow doctor. Maybe you're a GP yourself, maybe you're training to be a consultant in a particular specialty. Whoever you are, it doesn't matter because you will gain much value from these interviews that I will be hosting over the next few months. In this first episode, we will be speaking to Tutu, who is a GP. She also has a number of creative pursuits outside of general practice. So I caught up with Tutu and here's what she had to say. Okay, hi Tutu. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. And you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. So I wanted to start off by saying thanks so much for participating in the series. I'm looking forward to hearing what you've got to say. For those of you who don't know, well, probably no one knows, Tutu and I used to work together when I was a GP trainee, and I learned a lot from Tutu. So I'm so happy she said yes to me asking her to talk about her story and what she does and just some words of wisdom, really. What we're going to talk about towards the end of the video is really about creativity, because as doctors, as medics, creativity is so important. And we're going to talk to Tutu about why it's important and what creative outlets that she has. So without further ado, Tutu, do you want to take it away and just tell us about your career path and career journey?
Yes, it's been an interesting one. I actually studied back in Nigeria.
Okay.
And then I came here right after medical school and I did my exams, my qualifying exams, and I started working as an FY1 in Romford. And I did my FY2, and in between I had my son before starting my F1. And so in between I had to take some time out because I had another child. So I was kind of back and forth. And so I decided, I think quite quickly, I decided what I wanted to do, that I wanted to be a GP. And then I started my GP training in 2012. And that lasted 3 years. And then I became a GP, and I've been working as a GP since 2015. Wow, 5 years now. Yeah, so that's my career path in a nutshell. Yeah.
That's a very short nutshell.
Very, very short. If you want the longer version, yes, my longer version includes sometime in 2010, I actually decided that I was leaving completely the medical career.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I said I wanted to go into teaching. So I had just come out, I was doing my F2 then, I was in my F2 year, and I had just come back from my maternity leave, and that was really difficult for me, you know, balancing being a mother with a little baby. And I had other passions because I love to teach. I love to teach children. I love math completely. And so I was at this point, and I think the breaking point for me then was I had gone to work. I went back to work when my daughter was 9 months, and I was working full time at the time. So I got into work. My daughter was unwell in the morning. I had a temperature. I'd given her Calpol and she was fine. But because I needed to get into work, I knew she wasn't well, but I just took her to work. And then I went to work. And all the while, because I thought, okay, it's easier for them to call me in the middle of the day to pick her up than for me to ring work and say, oh, I'm not coming in. So I went into work and I was in floods of tears. And at that point, I just thought, no, I'm not doing this again. You know, I couldn't find that balance. It felt like it had to be one or the other. So 2010, I just said, no, I'm not doing this again. I'm just going to go into teaching. But obviously, that didn't happen. But here I am.
Oh, that's a really good insight, because I think sometimes medicine can be a bit overwhelming, isn't it, when you're trying to find that work-life balance, and there's no reason why you can't have that work-life balance, but it is about finding your feet and navigating how you can do it. So I'm pleased that you came back. You didn't leave.
No, I almost did.
But even I almost left as well. I was doing my second year. I decided that I wasn't going to apply training program. I just wasn't sure what training program. I wasn't sure if medicine was really the career for me because of the long hours. I was burnt out. And I wasn't sure where I was going with this, you know. And I saw a lot of things that I just didn't like. But yeah, I chose general practice, and that enabled me to carry on and work as a doctor. So I definitely resonate with what you said there.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people I've spoken to seem to go through this. Oh, what am I doing? Is this what I really, really want to do? And it's like most people go through that. Is it worth it? Should I give up and stuff? But we all say.
Well, I think that's a good start, and I think it might be good then to lead on straight away to the creativity aspects. Because obviously you've got a family. I mean, a young family at the time, but now they obviously kids are grown up or growing up. But yeah, I know you sing because Tutu was always singing at the practice. She was always brought her guitar, and she was always singing away. But I don't think we really got to speak about your singing and any other things that you do. So now would be a really good chance to tell the audience, tell me what you do outside of being a GP. in a nutshell.
I was gonna say, do we have until tomorrow? No, just kidding. You know, again, it goes back to that time in, you know, a lot of medics seem to think that is medicine or other things, and that is why a lot of people get overwhelmed and a lot of people give up, or some people don't give up because there's nothing else that they can do, or they haven't discovered what else they're interested in. So they are in there and they're frustrated and carry out their frustration on everybody, the patients, the staff, really. And I think I had, you know, for me, I always knew I wanted to be a doctor. As in, I always knew I wanted to be a doctor. And so I got into it, and the first thing was like, okay, is this it then? You know, because before going into medicine, before becoming a doctor, you sort of think like it's like casualty or ER or, you know.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. And then you start off as an F1, and you think, right, I'm going to be, you know, pumping chest and, you know, doing tracheostomy.
And you're so enthusiastic.
Yeah, I know.
And then the enthusiasm just goes down and down.
And then all you're doing, you're at the bottom of the pack, taking blood samples and running up and down. You know, so I got there, and honestly, it felt initially like an anticlimax. And then I had my child, and I couldn't spend time with my child. I couldn't do anything else. I hadn't explored my other gift, my other interest. And so for me, my choice then was, you know what, give it up, you know, just leave. But, you know, thank goodness I kind of thought about it, that look, this is something I've always do. I hadn't even started anything. It's not time to give up. But I'm glad that happened to me at that time, because it made me think, if I'm going to do this for a long time, then I need to find an outlet. I need to find something else. Medicine is intense. Being a GP or hospital doctor is quite intense. And you cannot, you're going to get burnout, you're going to get frustrated if all you do is go to work in the morning, you see patients, you do the same thing over and over again. Now, I have found, now I can honestly say that I absolutely enjoy my work. Yeah, there are some times that you pull your hair out, but overall, if I could go back and choose again, I probably would choose medicine, and I probably would choose being a doctor. And that's because I have found how to strike that balance. You know, now I don't say I am a doctor anymore. I say I work as a doctor, because I have learned how to separate myself from what I do. There will be times you would make mistakes as a doctor. You would never know enough But if you put your identity and everything into the fact that you're a doctor, so the day things don't go well at work, then you take it personal. And it's very frustrating. And that's why mental health issues amongst doctors now, it's gone up to the roof because we're stressed. Now, the things that I do, so I try to learn one new skill every year. You know, I do something that I look forward to, you know, anything. I just look for things. Last year was learning to play the guitar. I've taught myself, the year before, I taught myself how to make teddies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know, I make clothes. I just learn something new because that keeps me going. That takes my mind off of work. And so for me, I go to work, I come home, and it's like I'm taking off my work clothes, and psychologically I'm taking off work. And so I can enjoy all the other sides of my life. And like you rightly said, I do that. I take my guitar to work. I do all of that. And that gives me that balance. And I think that is what is so important. And yeah, and I think, you know, if we're too focused, it gets really, really frustrating. So I think I have found that balance, and I've been able to enjoy being a doctor, being a GP, because of the other things that I do. Now, this year, I've taken up leadership training for kids. Yeah. So I've taken up leadership training, capacity building. So I teach them things, you know. So at the moment, I'm working with some year 6 kids going into year 7. And so I teach them things like goal setting, time management, you know, being self-aware, those things, money management, things that schools will not teach them. And again, that's another passion that I've started this year, apart from tutoring as well.
Oh yeah,
like I said,
remember you saying you were doing the tutoring.
Yeah.
Oh wow, gosh, there's a whole list, and we just don't have time.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. That it will take us till tomorrow morning, so I better just wrap it up here now.
On some really important points, and I think it's something that you just have to learn, because, like you said, you always wanted to be a doctor, and you know that resonates with me because I always wanted to be a doctor, and then everything you do is like medicine. I need to get to medical school. I need to be a doctor, and then everything else is just siphoned off until one day you think, actually, who am I? You know, I was Patrice before I was Dr. Baptiste. You know, I had a life. I enjoyed doing things, just studying and training for passing exams. So I think it's so important to have that other side. And in recent years, I've also to separate your personal and work life, because once they're intermingled, it can just send you just around the bend. It takes time, and I think when you're starting off in your career, it's a bit tricky, but as you get older and you get more experience, then it's much easier to do, isn't it? But any final thoughts, anything you want us to remember, even if there's one thing that we remember from this interview, so just one thing that we can take away?
So the first thing I would say is that, one, as a human being, just not even as a doctor, but that you need to learn to tell yourself that you're doing okay. We always feel that we're never doing enough. I'm not studying enough. I'm not as good enough of a doctor as I should be. So I always tell myself, pat myself on the back. So that's the first thing that I would say. Number 2 is, for those just about to go into medical school, find yourself first. Find yourself. Know who you are. Know what your identity is. Know what you have, what you can do, and be clear about your mission in life. Know your values, because what's going to happen, you will get into medical school and there's a lot about, this is how you're meant to think, this is what you're meant to do, and you can get sucked into that and completely lose yourself. No, don't do that. Find yourself. Number 3 thing that I would say, learn to enjoy life. Learn to stop and smell the roses. medical school, I'm not gonna lie, it is hard. It is tedious. It is a lot of hard work, a lot of hard work. But you're never gonna finish studying everything you need to study today. So take that time, really take that time and enjoy life. Enjoy life. Learn to enjoy life. You know, you would think that, oh, once I get into medical school, then everything is going to be fine. You get into medical school, once I start doing my foundation program, it's going to be fine. Once I become a GP or there's always a challenge. So you need to make up your mind that, okay, yes, that is work, but this is my outlet. Learn something new. You know, take up extracurricular activities. No matter how busy medical school is, there's always room to hang out with your friends, always room to go and play cricket, always room to sing and to enjoy yourself, because those are the things that keep you going. Those are the things that after you've had a long day at work, you want to go home and say, okay, well, that's it. Now this is my guitar and this is my football. This is whatever else you have to do. And hard work hard. But I always say that there's a difference between hard work and smart work. So learn to work smart. Learn to work smart. There's nothing to gain from reading 20 textbooks, and learn to work smart. And remember, you are amazing. Doctor, even if you are never a doctor, you are still amazing just because you are you. And that is me.
Wow, that was so inspiring. So I think that's a really good note to end on. And I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to talk about anything else. But I want to say thank you so much for giving us some of your time to speak to us today. And yeah, I want to catch up with you soon.
Yes, so definitely. Thank you so much. Bye.
So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure you give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. I'm always interested to hear your comments. And if you haven't subscribed, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe and turn the bell on so you know when I'm releasing the next video in the series.